Hey everyone, welcome back to DevOps tutorial. In this video, we are going to explore environment variable in Kubernetes, why they are useful and how you can define them inside your pod and deployments. We will go step by step with two simple demos, first using a static values and then using a config map to inject a variables. So let's get started. Let's see first what is environment variable. Environment variable help us to pass a configuration values into our containers, like whether the app should run in development or a production mode, or values like API keys or a database URLs. These are the ways to define environment variables in Kubernetes. Kubernetes gives us three main ways to set environment variables. 1. Using the environment section directly in YAML for a static values. 2. Using envFrom to bulk load a variable from a config map or a secret. And 3. Injecting metadata like pod name or IP using field reference. What we will see in this demo? Example 1. Pod with static environment variables. Example 2. Deployment using ConfigMap via envFrom. Let's jump into the demo now. We will start with a simple pod using a static values, then move to a deployment that pulls a variable from a config map. Let's move to the terminal now. Let's create a file, name as static env pod.yaml. Here let's add API version v1, kind we are using pod, so P will be the capital, metadata, name static env demo, specification, containers, app-container. So let's use image busybox. And command we will use sleep 3600. Let's give the environment name equals to app new, values we will provide deployment or development name, we'll give app version, v1.o. So let's save it. Here we are creating, let me cat it first. Here we are creating a pod name static-environment-demo. It use a simple busybox image and set two environment variables app_env and app_version using the env key. So let's apply this YAML file. Let's execute it. -it -demo provide the shell. Now we are inside the pod. Print env. Let me grep. If you run print env, it will print all. Let's grep it. We want to grep for app. So inside the container, you can see the environment variables are available. App underscore env, that is a development, and app underscore version, that is v1.o. Inside the container, you can see the environment variables are available. App underscore env is equals to development and app underscore version equals to v1.o. So let's move to the another example. Exit. Let me create another example. Now in this demo, we will use ConfigMap with envFrom. So let's create a file, app configmap.yaml, app version v1. Here kind will be ConfigMap. And metadata, give the name. I will give config and log underscore level info app mode. Here we will give production. So save the file. So let's create one more file, config development, config deployment .yaml, API version will be v1. Here we will use kind equals to deployment and metadata ConfigMap -demo. Now specification, let's add a replicas here. I will add only one. So let's add a selector. Match labels. Here we'll add a config map, ConfigMap -app. So for now, let's create a template. Metadata. Let's add labels. ConfigMap app. So let's add specification in the template. Containers. So here we will provide the name, app container image busy box, command, sh, Here we'll use -c. Here we'll provide config envFrom. ConfigMap capital reference config. Now let's use a config map to provide the environment variables. Here is our app-config as a config map with two keys, log level and app mode. We then reference it in the deployment using envFrom. Let's apply it. kubectl apply -f. It's created. kubectl apply -f. Namespace no match for the kind. Let me check once. We have missed apps to add here. Let's rerun. There is another error. May not be empty. Okay. ConfigMap. Okay. Okay, this has been created. kubectl get pods -l app equals to config deployment .yaml kubectl get pods -l app config map -app. Okay, Now run kubectl -it, use the pod name -sh. Once you are inside a pod, you can run print environment grep app underscore. You receive the expected output production and print log, and this is info. You will see the environment variable from the config map have been injected. App mode is set to production and log level is set to info. So to summarize, use env for direct values and envFrom when loading from ConfigMaps or secrets. And you can always inspect environment variables using print env inside the container. And that's it for this demo on our environment variables in Kubernetes. In upcoming videos, we will dive deeper into ConfigMaps and secrets separately. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay updated. All YAML files are linked in the description. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.